Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me again for today's stroke conversation. Today's stroke conversation is going to be about giving yourself grace. That's the name of this video, giving yourself grace. Give yourself grace. And I'm going to name some simple things and simple tasks that you can do to give yourself grace and to help you move forward. So my name is Cheryl Harris. I am a former bodybuilder, a recent stroke recipient, and I help stroke survivors go from surviving to thriving and reclaiming their strength, independence, confidence, resilience, and doing this one move at a time. If you see me look away, I'm referencing my notes that I have here. So please forgive me on that. So yes, today's video is going to be about, in the stroke conversation series, is about giving yourself grace. And I'm going to give you 5 simple ways to give yourself grace after having a stroke. At any age. I have, after having a stroke at 55, but at any age, okay? The first thing I want you to do is acknowledge your progress. Acknowledge your progress. Focus on your small victories, no matter how minor they may seem. It's progress, because before, yes, you used to be able to bulge your fist up, raise your arm, raise it sideways, do a lateral move, But now, because of the stroke, it's caused some inflammation or limited mobility in your joints and your arms and your legs. It's also impacted your brain, your cognitive skills, your movement, your thinking, how you respond to things, or lack of responding, or delayed in responding. So the first thing I want you to do is to acknowledge your progress. Focus on small progresses. Focus on your small victories, whether they're minor, whether they're small, or whether they're major, it doesn't matter. Just focus on that. I say keep a journal with all of that and see what you're doing, or take a video of yourself and see what you're doing. Focus on that, because that will help you, let you know you're going far, because that helped me a lot with myself. I focused on, because I remember one time I wasn't able to make a fist. Now I'm able to do it. Now my joints are definitely still sore a little bit, but that's just the side effects of having a stroke, because you're not moving it as much as you should. But when you start feeling that, get to moving it so it doesn't get stiff. Whether it's your hand, your shoulder, your arm, you want to watch your posture. I even focus on my small victories in acknowledging I'm watching my posture. Looking at the video, I see how my posture was. I was like this a minute ago when I noticed that. So I sit the girls up. That helps you with your back, and you won't have such pain in your back or strain in your back. Acknowledge your progress. Focus on the small victories, no matter how small they may be. Each step forward is regaining. Each step forward in regaining movement or completing a task is a sign of progress. It doesn't matter what it is. If you weren't able to reach up and open up a cabinet, but now 5 months later you are, that's progress. Note that mentally. You can put it down on paper. You can take a video of yourself, make a video series of yourself, so you can see your own progress, okay? But the other thing is, in addition to that, I want you to set realistic goals. Now keep in mind, you had a stroke. You had something very traumatic happen to you. You're talking about a former bodybuilder here who pushed myself to the limit. You're talking about someone that leg pressed 630 pounds for 12 to 15 reps. And now I have hyperextension in my knees and my legs, and my hamstrings are weak. My hip flexors are weak. And my daughter has to help me up and down the stairs with a gait belt on. That's progress. I wasn't able to walk before. That's progress. That's a task. Okay? So set realistic goals. Some of my goals were being able to walk up and down the stairs. Okay? Being able to raise my arm to a higher level than it was before. Being able to ball my fist up. Being able to type. Working on my speech. Those are some things that I set realistic goals. So I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I'm going to be back to leg pressing 630 pounds in about a month or so. That's not realistic. Now, will I get back to that? Yes, I will. That's optimism. That's optimism. But the realistic goal is, let's work on working on the weak muscles that causes the hyperextension of my leg. Okay? So acknowledge your progress. Set realistic goals. Be kind to yourself. And you be kind to yourself by setting achievable goals, incremental goals, understanding that this is a journey. It's not a race. You're not in a rush to do nothing. Where are you going? What you want to do is get better. And you want to do it one step at a time, one move at a time, and one day at a time. Okay? So the third one is learn to make sure you rest. If you're tired and you become fatigued, understand the importance of rest, not just sleep. If you're tired, rest, but you don't quit. That's not an option. That's not a part of this series. It wasn't before the stroke, and it's not now after the stroke. It has never been that. You be careful what you say to yourself. So you recognize the importance of rest and recovery, because having a stroke could definitely cause fatigue, and that's the next step I'm going to talk about. Give yourself permission to take breaks. Don't quit. And don't be resting for 30 minutes in between time. Listen, I'm still the coach. Give yourself grace. Give yourself permission to take breaks. Not lay down, take a nap, and get up and do it again. Take breaks, recover, breathe, stretch, do what you need to do, because you will become fatigued. It's a normal part of having a stroke. That's normal part of it. And it's normal part of the healing process as well, too, is to become fatigued. Because I noticed during my improvement or my rehabilitation stage, I noticed I yawn a lot because there's lack of oxygen getting to the brain, and that causes me to yarn all day long. I do it all day long. It doesn't matter whether I'm sitting, whether I'm moving. So that happens because the oxygen to the brain has been compromised. Okay, the brain was impacted. Okay, allow yourself rest. Okay, give yourself permission to take breaks. Seek support, whether it's group support groups, whether it's leaning on your friends and your family. Don't wear them out, y'all. Listen, trust me. And when I say don't wear them out, I wore my girls out. I don't know. You know what? I'm not going to say I really wore them out. It's just that no one has ever experienced this before. We've never experienced this before in our family, whether it was with my mother and her ailments that she had, or anybody else in our family. We've never experienced a stroke, a heart attack, anything else like that. And then the last thing I want to talk about is celebrate your courage and your perseverance. Remind yourself each and every day of your inner strength. Give yourself grace. Be patient with yourself. Accept that this recovery time is going to take time, okay? See you guys in the next video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.